Fog City Tactical back here with a review and test of the JP Enterprises reduced power spring kit. I really wanted to do like a drop-in trigger, but I just can't afford it at this point. So I went on Brownell's site, which is right here. There's the part number, and it's advertised as a 3.5 pound spring kit if you're using the the JP Enterprises trigger group. But if you're using a mil-spec group, let's see if I can read that here. There it goes. It should be between 4.5 to 5 pounds. So I'd like to see where we're at and then put this in. It's a cheap mod until I can afford something different, but we can still drop the trigger down. So let's go ahead and grab my rig. It's my Stag Arms Model 8, and it has been safety checked already. Let's put this in frame. There we go. And I'm guessing this is probably like 6.5 pounds. It's a just basic mil-spec trigger, nothing special, out of the factory like that. So let's try to get this lined up and pull this across and see where we are at. So pull this over. Alright, so I got 7 pounds. That's probably actually about right. Actually, after thinking about it online and stuff, when people were talking about mil-spec triggers. So we got a 7-pound trigger. This should drop it down, this kit, hopefully between 4.5 to 5 pounds. That would be nice. So let's go ahead and install the springs and see what happens. Alright, so I got the trigger group out of the rifle. There's plenty of videos out there how to do it, and it's kind of hard for me to do it on camera. So here's your factory setup. It's just your basic lower parts kit stuff, and all the stuff that comes. And then the JP Enterprise parts. Let's do some just comparison, just to kind of compare the two, and see what we got going on here. So here's the JP Enterprise kit. The springs have this kind of yellow coating of paint, and it's got the hammer spring, it's got the trigger spring, and the disconnector spring. So we've got 3 springs, and let's go ahead and take the stock springs off and do some comparisons while we swap them out. Well, let's do the disconnect spring, which is this little one first. Let's go ahead and get this other one out. We're just going to kind of twist her and pull it, so that pulls out, and drop in the other one here. There we go. Make sure it goes all the way in, and it looks like it is. Looks like it's all the way in there. Alright, make sure that goes all the way in, because if you can't get that spring down all the way, what happens later is when you got this disconnector, it won't compress and you can't line the pin up. So that's down. Let's go ahead and change out the trigger spring, which is this one right here, and pop this off, and we'll do a little comparison as well, just as you look. Let's get this out of here. So here's the mil-spec, and here's the JP Enterprises. They look pretty similar, just looking at it, right here. Where I see a difference, let's get this so you can see it, is there's one leg that kind of jets out on the right, if you can see that, and of course it's painted yellow. So beyond that, it looks about the same lengthwise and everything else. So let's go ahead and put this in, get the stock spring out of the way, and put that in here, drop that in. Alrighty, so that one's done, and let's do the hammer spring. Alright, so that goes like that. Now these definitely look different. I was looking at them earlier, and when you compare these two, let's see if we can get it like this so you can see it. There's definitely more of an angle on the one on the right and the bottom one, which is the JP Enterprises. That looks different. But I think the biggest difference, what I could see, is in the coils. So this is the mil-spec on the right. I count 4 coils, if you can see that. And on the JP Enterprises, there is 3 coils. So that's probably a reduction right there. And there was one note, I think I saw some reviewer said, that if you plan on using military spec ammo that this spring kit may not have enough striking power, but I'm just using commercial stuff that's available. And I think I got that wrong. Yeah, I got that wrong. And I'm just using like just factory, 223 ammo type of stuff. All right, that's better. That's supposed to be how it's supposed to be as it springs back. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and install these and in the rifle, do a quick test and see where we're at. Alright, so I got the springs in the lower, and you can see them right here. Well, let's see if I can get the light in there so you can see it. See the yellow springs. And I'm just going to do a quick check, so, that locks, safety, nothing there. Release that. It releases the hammer. I'm going to continue to hold the trigger down, push the hammer back down. Disconnect does grab, which is important, and it resets. So, alright, so that's all in there. Let's go ahead and grab my upper, stick it on here, and do a test real quick, see what we have. Alright. Almost off camera, it's a little bit easier to do it. Alrighty. Alright. This has been safety checked, and I always check it every time. And there's nothing in it, of course. Alright, so this is the JP Enterprises. Let's kind of leave it like that so you can sort of see it. It's actually not. That's out of the way. So JP Enterprises, stock was 7 pounds, and this should be between 4.5 to 5 pounds. And let me get this all in frame. Let's see where we're at. Let's pull this across and see where it breaks. Okay, that's like 4 pounds and like 2 ounces. I'm gonna try it one more time because it says 4.5 to 5, and I'd be super happy if that's where it lands. All right, let's get this line back up and pull this across. All right, this says 4.5. All right, so. First time was what, 4 and like a little eighth. This is like 4.5. So it lands probably right where it should be, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to take this out. I'm sure it's all going to be fine. And the JP Enterprises. There we go. Reduced power spring kit produced a 4.5 pound trigger, as it is advertised. It says 4.5 to 5 pounds. So I'm pretty happy with that. I also, at the same time, just as kind of a little side note, as I got from Brownells, TTi International, this is the other brand, they had a reduced power spring kit, and I got it from Brownells. It wasn't that much money. I figured, I'll get both and just see what happens. Figured if anything, I'd have another set of springs. And these look a little, they look like the mil-spec ones, and these are the two that I found. I was playing with these, and this kit here, the TTi International, only reduced it to about 6 pounds, so there really was not reduction. So I think the biggest difference is the springs have a little bend, but you can probably bend your stock ones and reduce it by ½ pound, but that's pretty much a fail in the TTi. So anyhow, back to the JP Enterprises. I digress. I recommend it. I think it's pretty easy to install. It takes about 5 minutes to do it. Not too hard to do. So enjoy. Thanks for watching.